Hey everyone, it's Adam here from RSS Productions, and I'm going to go over some things that could be in iOS 10. The first thing that seems to be one of the most regarded as likely to happen is that you'll be able to hide the native apps, or at least some of them, on the iOS platform. So for example, if you want to hide the Books or the Phone app, you can do this. Even when you restart the phone, the apps will not appear. Again, this is all rumour and speculation, but most people think that this is going to happen. So you'll be able to say, I don't want this, and this app appearing when I restart my phone, and they'll be hidden, leaving only third-party apps visible. Awesome idea. Whether or not it's actually going to happen is another story. Much better implementation with HomeKit. For those unaware, HomeKit is basically a way of communicating each of your devices in your house with a single app, otherwise known as the Internet of Things, where every device is connected to the internet and therefore controllable, so you can control security systems, temperatures, whether or not you've got enough ice in your fridge freezer, for example. There are strong rumours that iOS 10 is going to bring a much better implementation here, meaning that there's going to be loads more features, it's going to be a lot more secure, and just an overall friendlier experience when it comes to HomeKit and trying to introduce people more to this platform and to the way of the future, which of course is the Internet of Things. If you're not sure about the Internet of Things, have a quick Google, it's pretty fascinating and it's the way of the future. So yeah, better implementation of HomeKit and more accessible to users.
3D Touch is a clear example of how hardware and software developed together can work to define a singular experience.
Too bad no one really uses it, isn't that right, Apple? Let's hope with this new iOS 10 we're actually going to get some use out of 3D Touch rather than it just be a gimmick that you show your mates down the pub. Oh, and of course, speaking of gimmicks,
so you can create a reminder just like this.
Remind me when I can actually use Siri other than searching for weather. There are rumours that iOS 10 is going to make Siri a lot better than it currently is. The fact that Siri isn't more used than it is at the moment is kind of a shame, because when it was first announced people were thinking, oh, this could be the new voice activated thing, forget all the ones in the past, they were just rubbish, they didn't work correctly, Siri and Apple is going to come along and change the game. But unfortunately it wasn't quite the case. Hopefully with iOS 10, if the rumours are true, we're going to see a better Siri, more accurate, will allow us to modify and customise various things through Siri that we weren't able to before, such as controlling settings on the phone rather than just searching for how many grams are in a kilogram.
So let's take a look now at the Photos app.
One of the strongest rumours is that the iPhone's Photos app is going to be upgraded heavily. At the moment you can edit photos, but not very well. Whether it's just applying a filter on it, or just various other minor tweaks. iOS 10 is probably going to bring along a feature that allows you to edit the pictures very specifically, whether it's blurring out faces, where it's tweaking the ISO, just a whole range of editing capabilities. This is one of the features that I'm most looking forward to, because the iPhone 6s's camera is very powerful, and I think it needs an editing suite to match. There are also some suggestions that Apple may start allowing people to use the same device but with multiple profiles or accounts for different people. I'm slightly skeptical about this because Apple isn't exactly a company known for wanting to save people money and having them all use one device. I think they'd much rather have people go and buy 5 different iPhones, 5 different iPads, and because that's just the Apple way. They're not one to say, oh, don't bother spending this much money on something that you already have in a different format. But hey, it could happen. It would be pretty cool if multiple people could use the same iPad, but have different settings or configurations or home screens displayed, sort of like a different profile on Windows 10. Now for a little bit of bad news, you may find that if you're using a 4S, iPad 2 or iPad mini original, you won't actually be able to get iOS 10. It's just the classic Apple way of upgrading the iOS to make certain iOS products obsolete so that you have to buy the new one. Currently the control center on iOS devices is quite limited. iOS 10 is set to change this with the introduction of an advanced control center, which applies additional features on top of what we already have. I for one am definitely looking forward to this. We can expect more information from the upcoming WWDC keynote speech from Apple. This stands for Worldwide Developers Conference. If you're interested whatsoever, please give it a quick Google. That's Worldwide Developers Conference. This has been Adam from RSS Productions, going over what you should expect from iOS 10. Thanks for watching.
Thank
Thanks for joining us, and welcome to San Francisco. Welcome to WWDC